everyone, thanks for joining. I'm Georgia from George's Shenanigans. Today we're going to make a couple of bracelets. We'll start off with this one with the antique bronze. It's going to be a little bit different to your regular bracelet. But anyway, you need some beads. These ones are, I can't remember what they're called. Chalcedony stone, I think they are. Some little bronze spacers, a ring, some guardians and crimp covers and a couple of crimps, some extra beads over here and some head pins to make some dangles, a length of chain and a piece of tiger tail. So we're going to start off, we're going to put our wire guardian on. So for those who don't know what a wire guardian is, it's a little horseshoe shaped guard that goes on your wire. It protects your wire from wearing, from sort of wear and tear from whatever it's attached to. So you go up one side, down the other, and I haven't got my glasses on so I can't see. So you end up with something that looks like that. So now we're going to put this ring on here. Squeeze it in just a little bit. Pop both wires through your crimp. So it looks like that. Now going to grab our crimping pliers. I'm going to crimp it off. So your crimping pliers fold it into like a taco shape, and then you just fold it over on itself. So it looks like that. Now when you're crimping too, you want to make sure that your wires don't cross over inside your crimp, which mine haven't, so that's good. Now I grab a crimp cover, pop that on. Anyone who's been watching my channel knows that I don't like crimp covers, but I suppose they're a necessary evil. And now I've just messed this one up. Okay. So that's what we've got now. So now we're going to thread on some beads. So these are 6mm chalcedony. And 8mm. I'm going to put 2 and then a little spacer and then 2 more. And a spacer, 2 more. And another spacer. So you want to feed your tail down here, back through some beads. So that's what we've got. Pop on a crimp and a wire guardian. Sorry, that was a bird on my roof then. Haven't left myself much wire here. This piece was already cut, so I thought I might as well use it. Now on this wire guardian, we want to put one end of our clasp. You can put either one, it doesn't really matter. Like either the bar or the ring. Again, go through a couple of beads. You don't have to, you can cut it off at the crimp. I always like to give myself a little bit of a tail. This is what happens when you use a short piece of wire. It can be a little bit hard to wrangle. Now, you want to make sure this isn't too tight. And remember that by the time you put a crimp cover on, it's going to tighten up that tiny little bit more. Sorry, I know you can't really see what I'm doing here. So fold that down on itself. Make sure you're crimped, that's nice and strong. Cut off this tail. Okay, now I've got a little gap there, which is pretty much perfect, because by the time I put this on, it's going to take up a little bit of that gap. Okay, so that's what we've got. Now what we want to do is we want to grab our chain, open up one of the links, just hold it on its side like that, grab the other side and just gently open it. And we want to put it on the wire guardian with our clasp, like that. I probably could have used a bigger guardian, but I didn't have any in the bronze and I didn't want to use stainless steel ones. And what happens now is this end of the chain goes through this ring, and we put the other part of our clasp on this side, just like that. Do up our link. And that is basically our bracelet. So you can wear it two ways. You can wear it over your wrist like that, or you can have both pieces of chain going around the back. So it's just that part on your wrist. So either or, however you prefer to wear it. Now we're going to make some little dangles. Will I wire wrap? I think I've got room on this wire to wire wrap. So you just want to bend that over, grab your needle nose, your round nose, take it back over and around, open up that loop, pop it on your ring, can be a little bit tricky. Now you only need to wrap it a couple of times. It can be hard to hold on to because you don't have a whole lot of room there to hang on to it. So now you've got this little tail that you want to cut off. Sorry, I don't think I'm showing you this very well. I'll show you better on the next one. Oh, that didn't cut. It felt like it did, but it actually didn't. That did. Grab it at your loop again and tuck in that little tail. Okay, so there's one. Now we'll do a small one. So pop your bead on the wire, grab it just above the bead, bend it. I actually really like wire wrapping, and it makes your jewellery secure too, which is an added bonus. I made this loop a little bit too small. Should be okay though. Yep, it's going to be fine. They're really tough, these head pins, which is unusual for like the ones that aren't stainless steel. The stainless steel ones are tough, you know, obviously because they're stainless steel. But these little ones, they're quite thick, so I guess that's probably why. So you want to grab it as close as you can to the wrap and cut it off. Grab your loop again, and you can see there's a little tiny tail sticking out there. So you just want to tuck that in. So now we'll do a big one again. I'll alternate between small and large. So we've got a larger small, then we'll have another small after that. Grab that again. Wrap it. And one more. Okay, so there we go. So as I said, you can put this on so that you've got a chain across the top. actually a little bit small for me. So it goes like that. You get your little dangles and your ring over here. Or you can have both the chains going around the back of your wrist. Either way, however you fancy it. But that's that one. So I'm going to make another one using some sugulite beads and some stainless steel chain. Which I have over here. And I'm not totally prepared actually because I don't have my head pins out and I don't have my wire cut. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. So we're going to pop the crimp onto the wire. Now these are these little locking crimps, which, yeah, they're okay. They're better than using a crimp cover, but they are expensive when you consider that they're a crimp. Now the other thing I don't have is a ring, so just one moment. Okay, so we need to put this little ring on our guardian. Squeeze it in. Pop that on. Pop my glasses back on so I can actually see what I'm doing. Just grab my crimping pliers instead of those ones. So these, before I squeeze this down, these little crimps have got a little bar that you push down that clamps onto the wire and it kind of locks it into place. Let's give it a good squeeze. I have had a couple break on me when I've been crimping them. But I guess you get that. So we're going to pop these beads on, if I can get the hole on this one. So these beads are sugulite. Okay, you want to make sure that your end goes inside a couple of beads. Next, you want your next crimp and your wire guardian. And you want to put one end of your clasp on here. Now some people don't put their clasp straight onto their wire guardian. And the reason is because if the clasp breaks or fails at some stage, then you can't just replace it. You've got to basically rebuild the whole piece. Whereas if it was on with a jump ring, you could just replace it by opening the jump ring. However, while I agree that that's a good argument, these little stainless steel clasps, like, I really don't think they're going to fail. So, yeah, so I don't worry about it. And look what's happened here. My tail came out, but that's okay. That's why you always check this stuff before you crimp. Now, we also don't want it to be too stiff. This appears to be fine. So now we'll crimp that off. Make sure it's really nicely closed and we're nice and strong. Cut off our tail. Right, now we want to put our, I forget now, yeah, our chain's going to go through this loop, which I hope it fits. Oh, it's not going to fit. Well, that wasn't very smart, was it? Hang on, I'll grab a smaller chain. Okay, so I decided to use this chain here. Now we want to attach that at this end. Now this braided chain can be a little bit hard to work with. You just have to be really patient with it. That looks okay. Now we want to put the other end. You know, I could use a jump ring, could it be easier, but I think the links of the chain are actually stronger than a jump ring. Okay, okay, so finally I got it on there. And it looks like that. So now we will, I'll grab a couple of head pins. And I've got some beads over here. I've only got 3. I could have sworn I had 4. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pop these beads onto head pins now, and wire wrap them onto the little ring over here. Now with these beads, with the head pin, it's sort of a little bit risky that the head pin's actually going to pull through the beads. So let me just check this one. They'd probably be okay, but to be on the safe side, I'm going to pop a little stainless steel ball underneath them, just like that. Grab your pliers, fold it over, round nose, make yourself a loop, open up your loop, grab your little ring, pop it on there. These little rings, they're stainless steel. They're actually for fishing, but don't tell my husband because he'll want to swipe them for his fishing. I don't know what you do with them for fishing, but it's actually surprising the amount of fishing stuff that's good for jewellery. Little rings and fusion wire and all sorts of stuff. It's a veritable treasure trove. But yeah, don't tell your husband because he'll want it for his fishing stuff. Tuck in your little tail on your wire. Go to your next one. So I might just speed it up through this. Sorry I wasn't completely organised. I just decided at the last minute that I'd do the second one. Oops. And as we all know, it's never easy putting a bracelet on without assistance. But toggle clasps do help. They do make it a little bit easier. So there you go. So there's our second one. I really like them. I think they're pretty cool. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching me make these two bracelets. I hope it inspires you. And I'd like to wish you all a wonderful day. If you can like and subscribe would be fantastic. And all the best. Thanks very much.